Honorable ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, it's my pleasure to open the second day of the 5G Territory Forum. This is the sixth time we are bringing together participants from a vast array of fields, policymakers, governments, telecommunications, hardware developers, vendors and operators, startups, city planners and businesses looking to benefit from the technology. 5G is not just a technology, it's also a catalyst for better connectivity, allowing for faster data processing and opening the door to a wide range of innovative solutions that can help address societal and environmental challenges at a whole new level. During last year's 5G Territory Forum, several national memorandums of understanding were signed. To name a few, I wish to highlight the memorandums of Cityverse and Semiconductors Development and Research in Latvia. I am more than proud of our accomplishments, and I would like to highlight several of them. Regarding Cityverse, I come from a city called Inga, which was recently awarded UNESCO World Heritage status, and already now augmented reality helps to enrich the experience of cultural tourism. It's just a minor example. Cityverse metaverse is a promising phenomenon to transform various sectors, creative industries, healthcare, education, etc. But it's still emerging, so it is essential to invest energy in research, development, and potential standardization frameworks to harness its full potential, ensuring that it benefits society while addressing potential challenges and risks. Yesterday, during this event, together with ITU, we hosted a unique, the only one workshop in Europe this year, where we discussed the European vision for future Cityverse standards. With our partners from Estonia, Sweden and Finland, we have established a Cityverse regional collaboration platform for development. The Cityverse task force is established in the city of Riga to compile various cases to move towards local digital twin projects. Regarding semiconductors, one of the most significant developments is the research on the development of Latvia's semiconductor strategy for the next 10 years. We have found a niche area where Latvia is expected to be among the leading countries in the world. I am talking about photonic semiconductors. I must note that these are not just words. Our words are based on actions. For example, Riga Technical University's Electronics and Telecoms faculty has reached 2 world records in data center interconnection technologies using silicon photonics chips in 2023. The Institute of Solid-State Physics of the University of Latvia works with a polymeric photonic chip developed. It's a technology for the future that could make chips even more efficient and the manufacturing process cheaper. By investing in research, development, and the deployment of photonic technologies, the EU can enhance its innovation capacity, economic resilience, and sustainability across various sectors. The objectives achieved speak for themselves, and with confidence, I can say that we will continue to work in those sectors to prove our success on the international stage of technological development even more. I believe it is essential to work not only on current challenges, but also to prepare for the future and invest in development of key enabling technologies. In March 2023, a project of the quantum technology was launched, bringing together universities and research centers in Latvia to strengthen our competitiveness in the field of quantum technologies and to engage in European and international research space. Within the framework of the Digital European Programme, Latvia has engaged in the deployment of advanced national quantum communication infrastructure networks in public and private sectors. The established network will be used for secure communication between public authorities in the areas of defense, health, and finance. And today, we are ready to take the next step, work together as an interrelated ecosystem where we share our knowledge and work together. That is the reason we as the Ministry are joining the National Memorandum of Development of Quantum Technologies to be signed later today. With these initiatives and projects, we are contributing to the development of European technological autonomy and key enabling technologies of the future. It's future where opportunities abound, where communities are empowered, and where the digital divide narrows. As we embark on this journey, let's work together to harness the power of technology for society, always mindful of the responsibilities that come with such transformative technology. Wishing you a successful and productive conference. Let's ignite new ideas and partnerships. Wishing you all successful and rewarding today's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you. And now let's meet President of the Council of HAKOM, Tonko Obuljen. Tonko, welcome to the stage.
Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, good morning to all of you. I'm honored to stand before you today as the elected BEREC chair for the next year. BEREC, the body of European regulators for electronic communications, consists of 27 independent national regulatory authorities from the member states and additional 11 members without voting rights. Our strategy for the period 2021 to 2025 recognizes three main objectives, which are similar, of course, to the objectives of the European Electronic Communications Code. Those objectives are promoting full connectivity, striving the development of open and sustainable digital markets, and empowering end users. We truly believe that the competition is a major driver to achieve these objectives and the targets of the Digital Decade Policy Programme of European Union. In recent years, we have witnessed an unprecedented surge in technological advancements, redefining the way we communicate, work, and live. At the heart of this transformation lies connectivity, acting as the very foundation upon which the edifice of the digital future is being constructed. And in this journey, 5G networks stand as a beacon of promise, driving the next phase of innovation and digitalization. 5G networks, the fifth generation of wireless technology, hold the potential to reshape entire industries, enable groundbreaking services, and empower societal change. With lightning-fast speeds, incredibly low latency, and the ability to connect an exponentially larger number of devices, 5G is poised to drive the Internet of Things to new heights. It offers the bandwidth required to support applications that were once deemed futuristic, from autonomous vehicles to augmented reality experiences. As we peer into the outlook for 2024, it is evident that 5G will be a catalyst for economic growth and innovation. The rollout of 5G networks, public and private, is not merely a technical upgrade, but a strategic enabler for industries. The automotive sector can leverage 5G to advance connected and autonomous driving, making roads safer and transportation more efficient. Manufacturing processes could undergo a revolution, with smart factories optimizing production through real-time data analytics. Moreover, the health sector should witness a transformation, with telemedicine becoming increasingly feasible, thus improving patient care in both urban and remote areas. We can use 5G technology to ensure significant decrease of energy consumption by connecting a huge network of smart sensors and control devices. In fact, it is hard to find a sphere of human life which is not a possible usage case for 5G and 6G, as we heard yesterday. Yet, as we look ahead, we must also acknowledge the digital divide that persists. While urban centers benefit from the advancements in connectivity, rural and underserved areas risk being left behind. As regulators, it is our responsibility to ensure that the benefits of 5G are accessible to all citizens, regardless of their geographical location or socioeconomic background. Initiatives that promote network deployment in rural areas are crucial to bridge this gap and ensure that the digitalization wave is inclusive and equitable. BEREC will keep promoting the equal access to the services for all citizens, with a special attention to vulnerable groups such as elderly persons and persons with disabilities. However, as we evaluate the status of 5G implementation, it becomes evident that the timeline has not aligned with some of the more optimistic projections. While the potential is undeniable, the development and deployment of 5G networks have encountered certain challenges. Factors such as spectrum allocation and pricing, technical complexities, and the need for significant infrastructure upgrades have contributed to delays in some regions. Moreover, even when the operators decided to invest in such an upgrade, they faced the challenges with obtaining adequate approvals and building permits. Additionally, ensuring compliance with regulatory standards and addressing public concerns related to health and privacy have necessitated careful consideration and deliberation, thus affecting the pace of implementation. The COVID-19 pandemic has made the business sector vulnerable and reluctant to make new investments. And not long after we thought we were back to normal, Russia's aggression against Ukraine began and brought us a new period of uncertainty. Finally, we seem to have underestimated the power of the market that was maybe not yet ready for the widespread use of 5G technology. And I believe and I hope we all learned a lesson from that. So as we embrace the opportunities that 5G brings, we must also take care about security and privacy concerns. The increased complexity of 5G networks opens new avenues for cyber threats. Therefore, as we shape the outlook for 2024, it is essential that we establish robust security frameworks and collaborate with stakeholders to develop resilient networks that safeguard sensitive data and protect users' privacy. BEREC has paid special attention to cybersecurity, and in cooperation with ENISA, NIS Cooperation Group, and European Commission, and of course other stakeholders, is investigating best practices in member states, especially regarding the application of 5G toolbox measures. Ladies and gentlemen, the path to a digital connected future is not one that can be treaded alone. It requires collaboration and partnership among governments, regulators, operators, other industry players, and civil society. BEREC, as the group of independent regulatory authorities, stands committed to fostering an environment of cooperation that ensures the successful rollout and utilization of 5G networks. By aligning policies, sharing best practices, and facilitating spectrum allocation, we can collectively unlock the full potential of 5G technology for the benefit of all. In conclusion, the road to 2024 represents a promising journey, one where we must uphold our responsibility to ensure accessibility, security, and equality, as we embrace the power of technology to create a more connected world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Obuljen. So before we move on to our first keynote, there's one more opening address, and please welcome Acting Director General of Investment and Development Agency of Latvia, also called here as LIAA, Iveta Strupkāja. Welcome.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and distinguished guests around the world here and ones who are joining online, welcome to the 6th annual 5G Territory event. As we gather here in the vibrant city of Riga and stand at the forefront of technological revolution that is set to redefine how we live, work, and interact. Over the past 5 years, 5G Territory has grown from a regional initiative to a globally recognized platform, bringing together the brightest minds, the most innovative companies, and the most forward-thinking policymakers. We have collectively worked toward developing a robust and aligned 5G ecosystem in Latvia, in the Baltic region, in the Baltic Sea region, Europe, and beyond. 5G Territory is organized by the Electronic Communication Office of Latvia and powered by the Investment and Development Agency of Latvia and the European Regional Development Fund. This conference is organized in cooperation with the International Telecommunication Union and many strategic partners and couldn't have happened without all of you. Investment and Development Agency of Latvia has supported the 5G Territory since its inception, helping to develop into one of the region's and even the world's most important industry events. 5G Territory is an event of national importance that facilitates the integration of Latvia into a global society, that brings new research and development opportunities, investment opportunities, and increase the country's global brand. Our country's mission is to make Latvia a natural playground for testing and exploring, because we are ready for challenges, especially a challenge to connect worlds apart. Latvia is a connector that helps the right people meet to create new, unexpected combinations. We are among ancient traditions and the newest technologies. This has led us to find ways to connect the irreconcilable. Latvia is also compact, and within two hand pressures anyone can be reached, allowing us to find the necessary partners to implement the ideas quickly. Support for mobile network infrastructure has never been more important from a national, social, and economic perspective. The countries that can provide their inhabitants with the latest network infrastructure will also be those to thrive. Leading 5G nations will bring socioeconomic benefits to everyone. This forum is more than just 5G. It is much wider about metaverse, digitalization, smart cities, communication, quantum technologies, challenges, finding new collaborations and partners, ideas and solutions, preparations of memorandum and consortiums. Our journey has been marked by significant milestones. We have seen the power of collaboration in developing and applying 5G technologies, stimulating economic growth and fostering innovations. We have witnessed the birth of cross-border projects and creation of new technological solutions and the strengthening of our regional cooperation. Today, as we resist the hype of 6G and focus on the opportunities that 5G presents, we stand on the cusp of a new year, and where 5G technologies will drive actionable development, where our cities will transform into intelligent meta-cities, and where our region will lead the way in this technological revolution. Many discussions and co-creation events were already yesterday. Yes, we talked about new standards for metacities. We talked about indoor 5G and challenges in public sector, dealing with digitalization processes. And today, many more will happen today. Amid them, how to raise connectivity in rural areas, how the Baltic can take the lead in Europe's innovative agenda, how we can benefit from automotive transports, automotive trains, and last but not the least, today there is going to be a stunning co-creation event, the Embracing the Quantum Era, which is also very specific and a topic which has gathered experts and specialists from around the world. We are happy that 5G territory complies with Latvia's position on innovation as the driving force for tackling pressuring challenges in business and industry and regional and global connectivity. By bringing together stakeholders and Europe's key decision makers, 5G territory continues its work on developing solutions and initiatives of global impact. As we embark on this exciting journey, I invite each of you to join us in these discussions, to share your ideas, your experience, your vision for the future. Be proactive, ask and tell, invite and respond, make connections and be connected. Together we can shape the future of 5G technology, drive innovations and create a more connected and efficient and sustainable world. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Let's make the most of these opportunities to shape the future of 5G technologies together. Welcome to 5G Territory 2023.
Thank you. Oh, what a task we've got ourselves here today, and we're just about to begin. Thank you. And now, let's go for the first keynote. The European path towards 6G. Why not? We've been mentioning 6G already, and many directions are going together, 5G and 6G, and this is already part of the discussion for a few years. So that's why now please welcome Executive Director of SNSGU, Erzsébet Fitóri. Erzsébet, welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the very kind invitation. I have very recently joined a Smart Networks and Services joint undertaking, and it's an honor and a great pleasure to deliver the first speech at 5G Territory, especially in this reference event of the Nordic and Baltic region. Which is home to so much innovation. It is home to some of the most advanced digital societies of the world. And of course, home to one of, or several of the leading innovating companies, vendors, research institutions, academia. So there could not be a better place, I think, to discuss and brainstorm about the challenges of 5G, 6G, and how we should overcome them. Today, I would like to share a few thoughts with you about the European path towards 6G. And in particular, perhaps highlight our thinking around the key drivers and strategic priorities that we are trying to address through research and innovation activities for 6G. The ambition level that Europe has set itself, which requires technology breakthroughs, but also very importantly, cooperation and collaboration. And finally, talk a little bit about the setup of the JU, what we are doing, how we are doing it, and perhaps also announce some news. So first of all, the European Commission has already recognized and set up a multi-dimensional framework with regard to the development of next generation connectivity technologies. It's very important that it should address effectively the needs, requirements, and expectations of society, effectively changing ultimately and improving the daily lives of European citizens. I think the expectations vis-à-vis connectivity have dramatically changed over the last few years and throughout the pandemic. We expect connectivity to be, and services also to be trustworthy, to contribute to sustainability and the Green Deal, to be always accessible and available, which sets, I think, a set of new expectations from society towards technologies, and we need to take this into account in our research activities. We also need to deliver on policy priorities. New technology needs to embed and be based on European values. It has to be secure by design, and also advance the technology sovereignty of Europe. And finally, of course, there needs to be a business opportunity in here for European businesses. So it's very important to foster the creation of new business models to position and strengthen the position of European companies in the digital global value chain, to maintain but also to strengthen the industrial leadership of European sectors and to develop solutions specifically helping these so-called vertical sectors to become or to remain competitive vis-à-vis their global peers, so to focus on innovations like industrial IoT or connected automotive, for example. At the very center, you can see sustainable development. Sustainability is a very important objective of the entire SNS program, an overarching one, and as you will see in the future, it will also become a flagship in our program. As I said, it's very important that 6G has a societal impact as well. We need to develop a technology that is inclusive, that is accessible to everyone. We should not create a next generation digital divide that is affordable and that really delivers on society's expectations. And last but not least, of course, fostering the technological sovereignty of Europe is a clear strategic priority. So how are we set out to deliver on all of these challenges? Clearly, this level of ambition requires technological breakthroughs and collaboration. So what we do is that we try to foster, early research and innovation activities in, I can't point, in what you see on the top, in the enabling technologies. So in areas related to network architecture, advanced radio access networks, cloudification, edge, native AI, and a holistic view to cybersecurity. And what we also try to do is also develop smart services. So it's called a smart networks and services joint undertaking for a reason. It's very important to develop also use cases, concrete use cases and services from the outset so that we can actually foster the early take-up of these services once 6G becomes a reality. And whilst we are setting out a European approach, we should do this in international collaboration. After all, the digital world is a global world, and our companies and societies need to actually exist and compete in that global world. And a few words about how the Smart Networks and Services joint undertaking is set up. So it is, as you can see on this slide, based on a very inclusive, collaborative approach. First of all, we have a public-private partnership between the JU members, which are the European Commission, and the 6G Industry Association. In this partnership, the industry has a very important voice to actually shape the work program, the strategic direction of the joint undertaking, and of course comes also with a commitment to participate and co-finance the projects, the research projects that we are running. We're also very closely associated with member states. This could not happen without that collaboration where member states are also running their own research initiatives, so we must leverage and collaborate closely together with the member states' representatives, who I believe are somewhere here also in the room. And finally, we need to also work with other partners sort of outside the research and technology bubble, and to create synergies with them. And the forum for that is the so-called stakeholders group. International collaboration is also very important to work, especially on areas which are of mutual interest and benefit, starting, for example, the cooperation with the United States on AI. But also, as you will see on the subsequent slides, it's very important that our project life cycle is aligned with international decision-making processes so that Europe has a real chance to influence the outcome of these international processes. So collaboration and partnership is really the cornerstone of the European path towards 6G. Our projects take a phased approach, three particular phases. The first phase is really very much based on the outcomes of the 5GPP process and is building on those innovations and has included projects which took the evolutionary path of 5G. As you can see in phase one, inclusion of some of the key verticals has been a clear priority, and to help them to actually go beyond 5G in their specifications for service needs. In phase two, the objective is to develop early systems and also to work together with adjacent areas. 6G will be built upon native AI. There are very important inputs such as microelectronics. So in phase two, we have designated projects which include these adjacent areas and build upon their research outcomes. As I said on one of my previous slides, sustainability is an overarching objective and a priority throughout the entire life cycle, running up to 2030, where we would like to see a full 6G system development. And sustainability is important not only from the perspective of 6G itself as a technology being sustainable, energy efficient, but also 6G becoming the solution to other sectors to become more energy efficient and to become more green and deliver on the Green Deal objectives of the EU. Our processes and phases are also aligned with the 3GPP standardization process, where actually 2025, the start of the standardization process, will be a very important milestone. And our objective is really to help European companies, European researchers, academics, to actually have a voice and shape that standardization process from 2025 onwards, so that global standards also reflect the European values, the European strategic priorities that I have mentioned before. And just to complicate things a little bit further in how actually the research towards 6G really works, our program is divided into 4 distinct streams, over which the EU's upfront commitment is an EU funding envelope of 900 million euros up to 2027. The lighter blue streams of our work are more evolutionary, and streams A and D, and streams B and C are our revolutionary work streams. Stream A, the 5G evolution systems, was quite prevalent in our phase 1, so if you remember the previous slide, in phase 1, but we are focusing on now the other 3 streams going forward from phase 2 and on our ongoing calls and also in our future work program. The streams interact with each other in what we call a spiral. So what we expect is that the outcomes, for example, from stream A, will be actually then reused in the large-scale trials and pilots with verticals. Or, for example, some of the platforms built in a Stream C project, which are experimental infrastructures, can be then used and built upon again in the large-scale trials. So it's not a line, it's not a kind of a linear, but more kind of a spiral system when research and infrastructure outcomes are being reused in later projects. And this is a very, very high-level summary of the SNSJU projects so far. So the first call of projects is well already on the way. They have started at the beginning of 2023. In total, 35 projects and 250 million euros of EU funding commitment. Now, what I would emphasize is that our calls are open. We do have a clear KPI to involve SMEs. And in the first call, we have had 18% of the funding going to SMEs, which increased to 25% in the second call. The openness is also visible in, of course, having a close collaboration and as a membership of the 6G IA, but actually only about 66 and 68% of the funding goes to these members. The rest is actually entirely open. I have mentioned already that it's very important for us to work closely and include closely verticals and develop research in collaboration with them. So in the first call, it was more focused on media and communication, which is, we felt, is a gap that should be addressed in the second call of projects, where we have more projects related to automotive, but also e-health, smart cities solutions. And I think this is the moment when I would invite all of you to maybe look at your phones or laptops or other devices and type smart-networks.europa.eu, smart-networks.europa.eu, and check out the winners of our second call for projects. These projects will start early next year, and we have just announced the winners. It is 27 winning projects, predominantly in the area of revolutionary 6G research, and 130 million euros of EU funding commitment. I would also invite you to stay tuned on this website that I have already, now that you know it. We will be launching our next work program, setting out our plans and strategic priorities around mid-November. And we are planning to open the third call of projects early 2024, which will then start and kick off in 2025. So in a nutshell, these were this was an overview of the European path and plans towards the development of 6G. And I think some of the thoughts that stood out just in conclusion is that we are really trying to build a shared vision of 6G, really based on societal needs, political priorities, and also the needs and competitiveness of European businesses. We strive to learn from the 5G experience and build in the learnings throughout the process. We take an ecosystem view. It takes time to nurture and develop ecosystems, so we must start early with 6G. Collaboration is really the building pillar of our work, collaboration between private and public sectors, but also international collaboration. And we should not be naive. We need to understand throughout our research activities the future trade-offs that will guide decision-making going forward, both in Europe and on the international scene. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth.